Hello again, and welcome to That's English.
Oh, yes, hello.
Ashley, what are you doing?
I'm filling in a form for the bank. I need to borrow some money for the course I'm going to do, so I'm applying for a loan.
Well, good luck. I hope they're more generous than my old bank. When I applied for a loan, they refused to give me one.
Why?
Because I spent over my credit limit and I was overdrawn, but it was only by about £100.
You were in the red?
Yes. So the bank put me on their blacklist. They wouldn't even give me a credit card. I had to change my bank.
That's ridiculous. So, today's episode is about someone having a problem with the bank, like Annabelle.
Yes. Eddie has got cash flow problems. Problemas de liquidez. He needs to borrow some money for his business. So he goes to see a business advisor at the bank to see if they can help him.
Well, I hope the interest rate on the loan isn't too high. Some banks charge you over 10%.
While you watch, try and answer this question.
Why did Bill have an argument with his bank manager?
Hello, Eddie. What's all that?
Oh, morning, Bill. Just some bank statements.
Ooh. I never look at my bank statements these days. I don't like bad news.
Neither do I. Well, at least I can still afford a cup of coffee.
Good. Phew. I thought for a minute you were going to ask me to lend you some money. I'm afraid my pockets are empty. I tried to withdraw some cash this morning. My card was eaten by the cash machine. Come on in and I'll get your coffee. So, how's your office furniture business doing?
Well, I've got some new contracts starting later in the year, but at the moment I've got cash flow problems.
Oh, I see.
As far as I'm concerned, there's absolutely no problem. I need to borrow about £10,000 until the new contracts start. Simple.
But don't tell me the bank won't lend you the money.
Exactly. I could use a credit card, but I'd have to pay a very high interest rate, about 17%.
That's ridiculous. I had an argument with my bank manager yesterday about bank charges. I was overdrawn by only £5 and they charged me £60. Banks? You can't win.
That's just what I think.
It seems to me that decisions are made by computers, not people.
I know what you mean. Anyway, this afternoon I've got a meeting with a business advisor from a different bank.
Your business is doing well and you've got some new contracts. That should impress them.
That's a good point. I just hope they agree.
Well, Eddie, it's quite obvious that your business is successful. As far as I'm concerned, we'll be able to lend you the £10,000, no problem.
Do you really think it'll be that easy?
I'm quite sure that there won't be any difficulty.
I'm not so sure about that. I just hope you're right.
Look, this guy is an old friend of mine. I just need to explain the figures to him, tell him how much you want to borrow, and then we'll authorise the loan. You'll probably have the money in your account by tomorrow morning. Hi, Jez, it's Gary here. Gary from Mutual Collective. No, Gary. That's right. Look, I've got a customer here who needs to borrow £10,000 as soon as possible.
Well, Eddie seems very worried. He doesn't think they'll give him the £10,000 loan.
But Gary, the business advisor, thinks they will. I hope he's right. Did you get the answer to our question? Why did Bill have an argument with his bank manager?
That's ridiculous. I had an argument with my bank manager yesterday about bank charges. I was overdrawn by only £5 and they charged me £60. Banks?
So, he had an argument with his bank manager because he was overdrawn by £5 and they charged him £60.
Let's see what interest rate they charge you for the loan.
In the video, we heard people expressing opinions. Watch.
As far as I'm concerned, there's absolutely no problem. I need to borrow about £10,000 until the new contracts start. Simple.
It seems to me that decisions are made by computers, not people.
I'm quite sure that there won't be any difficulty.
As you can see, we don't always express opinions with "I think."
True. For example, as far as I'm concerned, banks have too much power.
And it seems to me that the rich get better treatment from the banks than the rest of us.
I'm quite sure that they have no problem getting a loan.
We also heard people agreeing and disagreeing in different ways. Watch.
That's just what I think. I know what you mean. It's a good point. I just hope they agree. I'm not so sure about that. I just hope you're right.
As far as I'm concerned, we should put our money in a piggy bank and not give it to the bank.
That's just what I think.
Nice. But I suppose that's not very safe, is it?
I know what you mean. We need banks to look after our money. But don't worry, Ashley. I'm sure they'll give you the loan for your course.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, go and see the bank manager. It's always better to meet someone face to face.
That's a good point. I'll do that. Now, in the second part of the video, we're going to find out if Eddie gets his loan.
See if you can find the answer to our question. How much profit, beneficio, did Eddie's business make last year?
You're still waiting for the call?
Yes. According to Gary at the bank, the money will be transferred to me today.
Well, maybe they're very busy.
Maybe.
Don't worry. I'm sure you'll be given the loan.
Geraldine, if I don't get the money, I'll have to close the business. You'd lose your job.
But the business isn't closed yet, is it? Let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Hello? Has the loan been approved? Ah, OK, yes. I'll be there in half an hour.
Thanks for coming in, Eddie. I'm very sorry, but there's a problem. You see, your account was overdrawn for 2 days 6 months ago.
Yes, by £250. I'd like to point out that my company made over £300,000 profit last year.
That's a good point. But I'm afraid the overdraft wasn't authorised.
It was only £250.
The thing is, it doesn't matter if it was £250 or £250 million. You weren't given permission by the bank. I tried my best. I'm sorry.
Hello, Eddie Morgan.
Hello, Eddie.
Oh, hello there, Geraldine. Are you in the office?
No, I'm behind you.
Oh, hello. Look, Geraldine, I'm so sorry, but I haven't been given the loan.
Eddie, calm down and listen. I've got something to tell you. I've been left some money by my grandmother. She died 6 months ago, remember?
Well, you haven't got a job, but at least you've got some money.
In about 10 minutes, £10,000 will be deposited into your account by an investor.
What investor? Oh, no, Geraldine, it's your inheritance. You can't.
I can. I know you'll repay me when you can.
You bet I will. Thank you.
With 4.6% interest.
I think I need a coffee and a chocolate biscuit.
So the bank refused to give Eddie the loan because he'd been overdrawn.
But Geraldine is going to lend him the money.
Well, Eddie's business is quite successful, as we can see from the answer to our question.
How much profit did Eddie's business make last year?
I'd like to point out that my company made over £300,000 profit last year.
So, Eddie's business made over £300,000 profit last year.
Wow. In the video, we heard people describing a process using the passive voice. Watch.
Has the loan been approved?
That's a good point. But I'm afraid the overdraft wasn't authorised.
In about 10 minutes, £10,000 will be deposited into your account by an investor.
Remember, we form the passive with to be and the past participle of the verb.
The thing is, it doesn't matter if it was £250 or £250 million. You weren't given permission by the bank.
Look, Geraldine, I'm so sorry, but I haven't been given the loan.
So, Ashley, if you're not given the loan, how will you pay for the course?
If the loan isn't given to me, perhaps you can lend me the money. Did you notice? We can express the same idea in two different ways.
Now, let's find out if other people think banks are useful.
We asked people in the street this question. Do you use more than one bank? And what do you use them for?
Yeah, well, we've got all our student loans and stuff, so I've got a bank for student loans, I've got
a bank for savings,
bank for our wages. My parents live abroad as well in Hong Kong, so I've got a bank out there, so yeah.
I do. I use one for my personal affairs and I use a different one for my business.
We do, yeah. We have a little catering concession in the job that we do. I'm a social club steward. And my wife has her own bank account because she makes things, cards and other creative things. And the general household accounts go into a bank account that I've had for 40 years, over 40 years. There you go. We're well covered for bank accounts. Not a lot of money in any of them, but we're well covered for bank accounts.
just the one bank, that's it, everything in, everything out.
Yeah, that's well, because I'm from Mexico, I use Mexican banks and I use Spanish banks where I'm studying now, so yeah, difference.
Well, most people seem to have more than one bank account.
If you live or work abroad, like the Mexican guy, you might have an account at home and another in the country where you're living.
Ah, banks. It's impossible to escape them.
Well, that's all from today's programme. See you next time. Bye.
Yes, bye.